Stockholm, Sweden's capital, is a beautiful European city uniquely located across 14 islands where Lake Mälaren flows into the Baltic Sea. It looks east toward the Gulf of Finland, where you can find two other European capitals, Tallinn, Estonia, and Helsinki, Finland, as well as the former Russian imperial capital, St. Petersburg, which has been known in the past as Petrograd and during Soviet times, Leningrad. The metro area is home to some 2.4 million residents and is also thought to have been inhabited since the 6th millennium BCE. Although the city was formally founded in 1252 and is served not only as the capital of Sweden, but of Finland as well, when Sweden controlled what is now today modern Finland. There are other much more detailed videos on Sweden's long history, but today I'm going to use my long layover to explore the city's center and the Vasa Museum. Good morning and welcome to Stockholm, Sweden. I got in about an hour ago and I took the Arlanda Express from the airport, which usually costs about $55 US because it's the really fast way to get from one place to another. But they had a little bit of a delay and they're going to give me, I think, my original ticket price back. So they're going to give me probably the $25 to $30 for the first ride. It's an 18-minute ride roughly from the Arlanda airport to Stockholm Central Station. And I literally just put my bag in a locker there. They have the secure lockers of different sizes that you can just, put a bag in and explore the city for a while. So I've got 9 hours. Actually, it's a 9-hour layover, so I probably only have about 5 hours in town. So right now I'm heading down to check out the Vasa Museum. Located east of the city center on the island of the Swedish Royal Game Park, known as Djurgården, the Vasa Museum is easily spotted by the three masts that make up the museum's exterior, making its purpose pretty clear. From Stockholm Central Station, it takes a little over a half hour to reach on foot, but since the city is home to some great architecture and sights, I'm sure you won't mind the distance. Along the way, you'll pass beautiful buildings all over the place, free fountains to fill your water bottles, and elegant boats dotting the quays. Upon arrival to the museum, tickets cost 290 Swedish krona, roughly $27 US, but that does include admission to another museum close by, so it's not too bad. As you walk through the main doors, you're greeted with the incredibly imposing sight that is the Vasa. It was commissioned to be the flagship of the Swedish Imperial Navy by King Gustavus Adolphus for his expansionary war against Poland-Lithuania. Built between the years of 1626 and 1628 in the shipyards of Stockholm, and was meant to carry over 400 sailors and soldiers. When construction finished in 1628, the Vasa was one of the most powerful armed ships in the world at the time, with 64 guns in total. Plus, as you can see, it was immaculately decorated to reflect the ambitions of Sweden and its king, Gustavus Adolphus. The reason we're able to see a glimpse of her today is because on her maiden voyage, just 1,300 meters or not even quite 1 mile from her starting point, she caught a few gusts of wind that pushed her top-heavy hull onto its port side. But instead of recovering as many other ships of the day could, Vasa took on water through the gun ports that were ironically opened to fire celebratory shots and sank to a depth of 105 feet, just 390 feet from shore. 30 people in total were said to have died, but many survived because of how close the vessel was to shore, and many boats did come to its aid very quickly. Thousands of Stockholmers had lined the waterways of the city to watch the Vasa set sail and must have been justifiably terrified to see their empire's largest warship sink just offshore in front of them. Since this was such a high-level incident, an investigation was started immediately to place blame for the ship's failing. First, the captain was questioned. He, of course, swore that all the guns had been properly secured and that all of his men were sober. Then, all surviving officers were questioned, along with supervisors and expert witnesses. Not wanting to be blamed, everyone blamed someone else. It was uncovered that there were stability issues that were known. When asked about why the ship was so narrow, shipbuilder Jacobson replied that he had built the ship as directed by the original builder, who had recently died, even saying that he widened the ship by nearly 1.5 feet, but that the ship could not be widened further at that point in construction. What's more is that the king had approved the measurements by the original builder, Henrik Hybertson. When blame could not be placed on any of the surviving parties, the scapegoat effectively became the dead Hybertson. With the technology of the era, it was impossible to raise the ship from the depths, Though many tried over the centuries, with only small successes such as cannons, ornaments, or small personal effects being recovered, over the years the ship slowly fell apart. Iron bolts that held the beakhead, sculptures, and much of the ship rusted away within a few years. Once the nails corroded, anything that fell off the ship into the mud was actually protected pretty well, to the extent that you can still see paint and gilding today. Surprisingly, human activities over the centuries actually caused the most damage. Recovery efforts for effects inside the ship removed planking from the top decks. Ships also occasionally dropped anchor unknowingly onto the wreck. And harbor construction sometimes used explosives to blast bedrock, which would then be dumped on or near the Vasa. Despite all of this, and after 333 years, Vasa was finally raised on April 24th, 1961. The incredible recovery was orchestrated over more than 4 years on 1,300 dives, leaving us today with the world's best preserved 17th century sailing vessel. I wish I had more time to stay and explore the city that surrounds the Vasa, but my short stay only allows me to stay in the downtown area. Luckily, the old town, Gamla Stan, is just steps away from Central Station. The central island of Gamla Stan is home to some of Stockholm's most beautiful and historic buildings, as well as the Royal Palace, where I just happened upon a crowd of other tourists waiting for the changing of the guard. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and think I deserve your subscription, please click the subscribe button below, along with the bell icon to be notified of all my new videos. Thanks again for watching this video, and never stop adventuring.